Hello students, we are solving May-June 2022 O-Level Mathematics 4024, Paper 1 Variant 2. In the previous video, we solved question 1 till 15 of this paper. Now let's start it from question number 16. Okay, here we have question number 16. The graph of y is equal to x cube over 5 minus 3x plus 2 is drawn on the grid. So we can see a graph here. The first part is by drawing a tangent, estimate the gradient of curve at x is equal to minus 1. So at x is equal to minus 1, where the curve meets this point, here we have x is equal to minus 1. So that's the point. Here we are going to draw the tangent. So the method of drawing tangent is that by using a scale, we will draw the tangent. And you know that tangent is that line which touches the curve only at one point. So let me draw the tangent. That will be approximately this one. That's the tangent. Now we have to estimate the gradient at this point. So in order to find out gradient, we can take any 2 points on this curve. As you know, this is paper number 1. So we will try to take those points which do not involve decimal values so that the calculations seems easier. Calculations become easier. Let's take this point. This is negative 1.5 from x and it is 6 from y. The value is 6. As another point, we can take, for example, this one. As this point is on y-axis, so its x coordinate will be 0 and y coordinate seems 2.5. So by using these points, we can find out gradient. You must know the formula of gradient, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So that will become 2.5 minus 6 over 0 minus 1.5. So 2.5 minus 6, that will be negative of 3.5 over positive 1.5. So 3.5 over 1.5. If we remove their decimal, that can become written as minus 35 over 15. And that will be, as you know, that 15 times 2 is 30. So almost minus 2.3. That will be its gradient. The next question. By drawing a suitable straight line on the graph, find the solutions of the equation x cube over 5 minus 3x is equal to 0. Now, as you can see, the function given to us here is x cube over 5 minus 3x plus 2, right, is equal to y. But the value which we have to make is this, that x cube over 5 minus 3x is equal to 0. So we will make changes in this given function because graph is given of this function, the graph. So we will make changes in this to make this one, to make it exactly this one. X cube over 5 minus 3x is equal to 0. This is given to us and we will make it this one. What do we have to do? We have to add 2 on both sides. So that will become x cube over 5 minus 3x plus 2 is equal to 0 plus 2. This is the rule that you can add or subtract same number on both sides of an equation. So it is 0 plus 2 means equal to 2. So this is equal to y. So y is equal to 2 will be drawn on this graph. That will give us solution. So what line is y is equal to 2? A horizontal line crossing y-axis from 2 will be our required line. This is the line y is equal to 2. You can draw it using scale, you should draw. So the points where this line is intersecting the curve are these. This one, this one, and this one. You have to write down the values of x at these points. Okay? Find the solution. Solution means value of x. So here we have value of x is approximately negative 3.9 at this point. Now at this point, as it is on y-axis, so the value of x will be 0. And at this point, the value of x seems positive 3.9. So these are the solutions, right? Keep in mind this from the past few years, this kind of question is often asked in the paper, that you have to make a function. A function is given to us. By making changes in this function, you have to make it like the given function. So when we will solve more paper, there will be more problems and this concept will be more clear to you then. The next question. Rayan says, each diagonal of a quadrilateral Q divides it into two congruent isosceles triangles. Draw a ring around each of the quadrilateral in the list for which Rayan's statement is always true. Means they say each diagonal of a quadrilateral divided into two congruent isosceles triangle. Let's take example of square. You know, all sides are equal in a square. This is one diagonal of a square. This is another diagonal. So let's consider only this diagonal. As you know, it is dividing it into two isosceles triangles. These sides are equal. So these are isosceles triangles. As they are equilateral as well, but you know that every equilateral triangle is isosceles as well. So in the same way, other diagonal of square means this direction. It will also divide it into two isosceles triangles. So that's why square fulfills this condition. So one shape is square. Now let's think of another shape. Another shape will also be there, which will fulfill this condition. If you talk about rectangle, now that's a rectangle. Now in the rectangle, opposite sides are equal, you know that. So if you draw a diagonal, is it making two isosceles triangles? No, because this triangle is not isosceles, neither is this one. So this doesn't fulfill this condition. Now let's talk about rhombus. Rhombus is such a quadrilateral whose all sides are equal in length. This condition of rhombus is same as square, that all sides of a rhombus are also equal in length, but in square the corner angles are 90 degree, which is not a condition in rhombus. In rhombus it's not a necessary condition, but all sides are equal. Now here, if you draw one diagonal, this is one diagonal of rhombus. Yes, it is dividing it into two isosceles triangles. This is isosceles, this is also isosceles triangle. If you draw another diagonal of this rhombus, like this one, yeah, these are also isosceles triangles, so rhombus also satisfies this condition, right? Parallelogram will also not satisfy, because parallelogram is a kind of rectangle, so that cannot satisfy. Trapezium, no, trapezium also does not satisfy, because in trapezium the lengths of sides are not necessarily same. What about kite? Kite is like this. This side is equal to this one, and this side here is equal to this one. Now if you draw diagonal in this way, yes, it satisfies this thing, that this triangle and this triangle, they are both isosceles. But since they say each diagonal, means every diagonal must satisfy this condition. For another kite, this is also a kite here. Now this length is equal to this one, and this length here is equal to this one. If you draw diagonal in this direction, then these are not isosceles triangles. So this is not satisfying this condition. So square and rhombus, they are such quadrilaterals, right? Now let's do B part. AXB and CXD are straight lines. We can see AB, this one, and CD are straight lines. Now, X is the midpoint of AB. Fine. AC is parallel to DB. It can be seen from here that AC and DB, these are parallel. Show that triangle AXC is congruent to triangle BXD. Now, you know that congruency tests are these: SSS, AAS, or ASA, then SAS, and RHS. These are congruency tests. A stands for angle, S stands for side. So we need to apply any of these congruency tests here. Okay, now let's look at these two triangles. As it is stated there, that X is the midpoint of AB. So it means AX should be equal to BX. Fine. Since X is the midpoint, the reason is X is midpoint of AB. Fine. You should give the reason. They say give a reason for each statement you make. So in this type of question, the examiners give half marks for reasoning. Okay. As the lines are parallel. So in parallel lines, we know there are alternate angles. So this angle C must be equal to angle D. So we can say angle ACX is equal to angle BDX. The reason is alternate angles. Right? And another case, as the lines are crossing each other, so this angle and this angle here are also equal. What we call them? Vertically opposite angle. Means angle AXC is equal to angle BXD. The reason is vertically opposite. Yeah, you can take that angle. This angle is also equal to this one. This reason can also be used. So as we can see, two angles and one side are equal. So therefore, triangle AXC is congruent to triangle BXD. The reason we made is ASA. Because of ASA congruency test, the triangles are congruent. So that's it, the question done in this way. Next question. F of x means a function in x is equal to 3x minus 7. Find f inverse of x. So, you know, in order to find out inverse, first let us assume this function 3x minus 7 is equal to y is equal to 3x minus 7. In order to make inverse, we have to make this x, the subject. How is it make subject? It will become y plus 7 is equal to 3x. 3 will be divided, so we have y plus 7 over 3 is equal to x. Now, in order to write down f inverse x, replace this y again by x. So that will become x plus 7 over 3. So this is f inverse x plus 7 over 3. That's it. Next question. A universal set is given to us, then a set P, Q and R. You have to find out P union Q. You know, in union we combine all the elements. So it is P union Q, so we will combine elements of P and Q. So A, F, E, G, H, I is repeating, we will write only once, and J. This is P union Q. Write down in answer space. E, G, H, I, J. That's it. Second part, find number of elements. This N stands for number of elements in P complement intersection Q union R. So first, what will be P complement? P complement, you know, it will be universal minus P, means those elements which are in universal but not in P. So those will be B, C, D, F, G, H and J. This is P complement. Now let's talk about Q union R. Q union R means combined Q and R. These are Q and R. So that will be C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. So you have to write down P complement intersection Q union R. Intersection, this is intersection means common elements. So which elements are there in both of these sets? How many elements are there? C, yes, it is in both of them. D, yes. There is F, then G, H and J. These are the elements which are in common in both of these sets. So how many are they? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 elements are common. So that's number of elements in this P complement intersection Q union R. Fine. Next question. Use set notation to describe shaded subset in the Venn diagram. You have to describe this shaded part. What is that? As we can see clearly that it is outside B. So that means clearly it is B complement. And since this part is basically a common part of A and C. Common part of A and C means it's A intersection C. So the total part is that which is common with B complement means intersection, okay, common with A intersection C. This is the part. B complement intersection with A intersection C. Although A intersection C contains this part as well, but since this part is not included here, so that's why we have put intersection sign. Because it is only part which is in B complement as well as A and as well as in C. Right? Next question. It's of circle properties. So there are points on circle with center O, points A, B, C and D are here. You have to find out angle ADB. That's the angle ADB. So that's quite simple property. We know that the angle from a same segment at center is double of angle from the same segment, since this angle D is also coming from A and B, and this angle at O also has origin at A and B. So they are both of same segment. So if this is 30, then this will be half of it. That will be 70. If this is 70, this will be half of 70. That makes it 35 degrees. Now angle BCD. BCD, this angle you have to find out. Now if we look at this whole shape, we can see a cyclic quadrilateral here which goes from A to B, then B to C, C to D, C to D, and then D to A. That's the cyclic quadrilateral. The angle opposite to this angle C is basically this one. We can find out this total angle. Since OA and OB are both radius, so they are equal in length, so these angles will be equal. This angle should be equal to this one. So in an isosceles triangle, we can find out these equal angles by subtracting 180 from 70, by subtracting 70 from 180 and dividing by 2. We got 55 degree. This angle is 55 degree. So this total angle becomes 55 plus 25, that's 80 degree. Right? This full angle is 80, so by using property of cyclic quadrilateral, this will be 180 minus 80. That's 100 degrees, right? So BCD angle is 100 degrees. Okay. The next question. Factorize 4x squared plus 5x minus 6 It's a quadratic expression, so we will use a very famous technique of breaking middle term. We have to make product 24, as 4 multiplied by 6 is 24 and sum is 5. We have to think of those numbers whose sum gives us 5 and product give us 24. Those are obviously 8 and negative 3, because 8 minus 3 is 5 and their product becomes 24. So that will become 4x square plus 8x minus 3x minus 6. We take 4x as common from these two terms. We get x plus 2. Negative 3 as common from these two. That will also become x plus 2. So now we have x plus 2, each same in each bracket, into 4x minus 3. That's the value, x plus 2, 4x minus 3. Next question. Simplify 16 and over x raised to the power 6 whole power minus 1 by 2. So 16 can be written as 4 square, x power 6. As this negative 1 by 2 is power of whole, so it will multiply with both of these powers. So 2 times negative 1 by 2, 6 times negative 1 by 2. So we have 2 and 2 cancelled, and here 2 3s are 6. So we have 4 raised to the power minus 1 over x raised to power 3 times minus 1, that makes it minus 3. Okay, and it's a good practice to give your answer as positive index, because sometimes they mention in the question that give your answer in positive index. So it's a good practice that you convert these to positive index. So we will reciprocate both, and the signs of their powers will change. So that will become x power 3 over 4 power 1, or x cube over 4. That's the answer. Fine. The next question of probability. A bag contains these 9 letter tiles. The letters are written on these tiles. Noor takes one tile from the bag at random. She notes the letter and then puts the tile back in the bag. Find the probability that she does not take letter E. Does not. So the simple way of doing it, that find probability of picking letter E and subtract it from 1, that will be probability of not taking E. So probability of taking E. Since there are 2 E's, so that will be 2 over 9. So probability of not taking E, that will be 1 minus 2 by 9. So that becomes, by taking LCM we'll solve it, 9 minus 2 becomes 7 by 9. That's the probability. Or you can simply count that 7 letters are there which are not E, so 7 by 9 can be the probability. Noor now takes 2 of the 9 letter tiles at random without replacement. 2 tiles. Find the probability both show the same letter. Same letters are there, SS, that can be SS plus EE, the letters which are repeating. So no other letter apart from these are repeating. So take probability of SS. If for the probability of first S, since first S will be picked up from 3S here, there are 3 S's. So that probability will become 3 by 9 multiplied by, since it is without replacement, so now we are left with 2S. So that will be the next S will be picked from 2S. So that will be 2 by 8. Total also reduced by 1. Plus EE. Now first E will be picked up from these 2 E's. So that will be 2 by 9 multiplied by, since 1 E reduced, so that will become 1 by 8. Let's simplify it. 2 times 1 and 4 and 3 1 3 3, so we have 1 by 12 plus 2 times 1 and 4, so 1 by 36. Simplify them, multiply it with 3, so we get 3 plus 1, that makes it 4 by 36 or 1 by 9. So that's the probability, 1 by 9. Okay, the next question. The diagram shows the major sector of a circle with center O and radius 3 centimeter. The radius is 3 centimeter here. Calculate area of this sector. So you have to calculate area of major sector. Give your answer in the form of k pi. The formula to calculate area of sector is theta over 360 multiplied by pi r squared. You know that. Theta, the angle of major sector, that will be 360 is the full circle, so 360 minus 80. Right? That will be 280. So it's 280 over 360 multiplied by pi. Since we have to give answer in form of k pi, we won't put value of pi, times 3 square. Now we have to simplify them. The zeros are cancelled. It became 28 by 36 times 9 pi. You know that 9 times 1 and 9 fours are 36 and 4 7 they're 28, so we have 7 pi as the answer. So k is basically 7 here. They are saying k is integer, which is 7 here. The next question, solve 2 minus 5x over 3x plus 10 is equal to 3. So that's simple, 2 minus 5x. This 3x plus 10 will multiply with 3 on the other side. It will become 2 minus 5x is equal to 9x plus 30. Further, it will become, if you shift the terms, 2 minus 30 is equal to 9x plus 5x. So we have negative 28 is equal to 14x. Divide 14, you get x is equal to minus 2. Negative 2 is the value of x. Next part, these questions are basically simple. Algebra, you should have a strong grip over algebra so that you don't lose any marks in these kind of questions. You have to express this as a single fraction. So same, the product of these denominators will be the LCM, x minus 2 times 2x plus 1. You can say it's kind of cross multiplication, that 3 will be multiplied with 2x plus 1 minus 5 will be multiplied with x minus 2. Now you have to expand these brackets. It becomes 6x plus 15 minus 5x plus 10. Keep the denominator as it is. So simplifying the terms, we get 6x minus 5x is x plus 25 over x minus 2, 2x plus 1. Right? That's the answer. Now the last question, it is of vectors. So here they say OA is A, OC vector is C, OA ratio OP is 1 ratio 4. OA ratio OP is full. That is 1 ratio 4. So that makes it obvious that since OP full is 4, so it means since OA is just A, it means OP must be 4A, as it is 4 times of OA. Okay. We will use it further. Now you have to find out OR full in terms of C. Okay. So as OC is just C, and in ratio OC, ratio CR is 2 ratio 3, means this is 2 and this part is 3. So what we can do, a cross multiplication technique, let the ratio which is 2 is basically C, represented by vector C. So the ratio, since we have to find out OR is full length, in terms of ratio that should be 2 plus 3, means 5. What will that be? Let's assume it x. Do cross multiplication. So we have 2 times x is equal to 5c. X is equal to 5c by 2. So that's OR, because it's full length OR, 5c by 2. Fine. And the B part, find CQ as simply as possible. CQ. This is CQ. So we can track down CQ as CR plus RQ. What is CR? Since CR in ratio it is 3, let's find out CR. Since the ratio which is 2 is represented by C, so the ratio what is 3, let's make it x. So that will be 2x is equal to 3c, x is equal to 3c over 2. So CR is basically 3c by 2. And RQ, since it is equal to OP because it's a parallelogram, so and OP is basically 4a, so 3c by 2 plus 4a. Let's simplify it by making denominator same. So that becomes 3c plus 8a by 2. That's CQ, 3c plus 8a by 2. Now in C part, we have to find out ratio of area of OABC to area of OPQR. Means this smaller parallelogram, the area of this smaller parallelogram to that of area of this larger parallelogram. One fact you should know that these parallelograms are not similar. We cannot say these parallelograms are similar because in similarity all sides increase by the same ratio, and we don't have that information here in this question. That we know that OP is 4 times of OA, but here OR is not 4 times of OC, so we cannot predict whether these are similar or not. So we will use simply the formulas of areas of parallelogram. Area of parallelogram is simply base times height. So use this for both parallelograms, base times height. Okay. So since OABC should be numerator, so its base is this, let's take A as base, and its height will be this one, the vertical height, right? Let's make it H over the larger parallelogram, its base, make it OP, which is 4A. What about its height? Its height will be this one. Now, these two heights will have the same ratio as is the ratio of OC and OR, right? Since what is the ratio of OC and OR? OC is simply C, and OR is 5C over 2, right? So it means their ratio is 5 by 2. So that will be 5 by 2 H. So H will be cancelled with H, A will be cancelled with A, and 2 times 2 is 4. So we have 1 over 10 as the result. So this ratio should be 1:10, right? So that's the end of this paper. Hope you guys understood it. If you have any queries, you can ask in the comments, and please do like and subscribe this channel. Thank you for watching.